So I wanted to come to y'all and talk about the different ways that Yah speaks to people. And I'm still coming from the book, The Power of Your Dreams. And so one way that he speaks to people is a feeler. So feelers are those with a heightened sensitivity to the emotions of Yah that are connected to our decisions, goals, ideas, plans, and environments. So how this comes in is having a sense of peace about something. So when you are making a decision and you know it's the right decision, when you have that sense of peace come over you, right? So peace is a feeling of calmness which can quiet negative emotions like anxiety, anger, stress, and frustration. And Stephanie also notes that there's a difference between peace from Yah and the peace that comes from the world. So according to John 14:27, Yahweh Shai says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." My thing is, I don't know what kind of peace comes from the world. Like, the world is not a peaceful place. Like, there's no, I guess it could be that from the world you get peace about a decision that you know is not good, like you're being told to do something that you shouldn't be doing because everybody else is doing it, but we shouldn't be doing that. The next is the knower. You may be a knower if you have an instinctive understanding of what you ought to do and are confident in this decision. That is not me. I'm not a knower. I don't even think I'm a feeler either. The hearer. Hearing Yah's voice is often limited to the idea of hearing his audible voice, which causes many to rule out the experience because it seems out of reach or intimidating. The hearer experiences Yah through a voice. This can be outwardly as an audible voice or inwardly through an inner voice. I definitely think that I am a hearer, and a lot of times it comes through either the voice of other people or he will speak through me. So I will be talking to someone, trying to figure out something, and there will be words that come out of my mouth that I know are not mine, and that automatically is like, oh, I didn't even think of that because I didn't think of that. Those were not my words. Those were not my thoughts. That was him speaking through me. So sometimes he'll speak to me through me. I don't know if that makes sense, but the last one is the seer. So you have natural sight, which is what an individual sees in the natural sight is not all there is. There are angelic beings and supernatural activity hidden from our natural eyes, but there are times when Yah chooses to open our eyes so we can see how the supernatural world partners with the natural world. And then you have spiritual sight. So spiritual sight can be experienced through visions or dreams. So I don't necessarily have visions, but I have dreams. And visions can be like, she used the book of Revelation, for example, which is a vision of John. And also through the prophets, they had visions as well. So those visions, I believe, are just things you see when you're awake, right? Kind of like daydreaming. Yeah, daydreaming. And then dreams, of course, when you're asleep. But I specifically wanted to talk about the hearer because she brought up the example of Samuel. And this is coming from 1 Samuel chapter 3. And I'm reading the scriptures, so a lot of these words are in Hebrew. The young Shemuel was serving Yahweh before Eli, and the word of Yahweh was rare in those days, no vision breaking forth. And it came to be in that day that Eli was lying down in his place, and his eyes had begun to grow so dim that he was unable to see. So he was going blind. And the lamp of Elohim had not gone out in the Hekel, I believe that's the temple of Yahweh, where the ark of Elohim was, and Shemuel was lying down to sleep. And Yahweh called Shemuel, and he answered, "Here I am." He then ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." But he said, "Eli, I did not call you. Lie down again." So he went and lay down. And Yahweh again called Shemuel, and Shemuel rose and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." But he answered, "My son, I did not call. Lie down again." Now, Shemuel did not yet know Yahweh, and the word of Yahweh was not yet revealed to him. So he knew nothing about who he was. So he called him when he didn't even know him. And Yahweh called Shemuel again the third time, and he arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you did call me. Then Eli understood that Yahweh had called the youth. So Eli said to Shemuel, Go lay down, and it shall be, if he calls you, say, Speak, Yahweh, for your servant hears. And Shemuel went and lay down in his place. And Yahweh came to him and stood and called as at other times, Shemuel, Shemuel. And Shemuel answered, Speak, for your servant hears. And Yahweh said to Shemuel, See, I am doing a matter in Israel, at which both ears of everyone who hears shall tingle. And that day I shall confirm against Eli all that I have spoken concerning his house from beginning to end. For I have declared to him that I am judging his house forever for the crookedness which he knows, because his sons cursed Elohim, and he did not rebuke them. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the crookedness of the house of Eli shall never be atoned for by slaughtering or grain offering. Now, in those days, that was important. But if he can't even be atoned by offerings, child. And Shemuel lay down until morning and opened the doors of the house of Yahweh. And Shemuel was afraid to report the vision to Eli. Then Eli called Shemuel and said, Shemuel, my son. And he answered, Here I am. And he said, What is the word that he spoke to you? Please do not hide it from me. Elohim do so to you, and more also, if you hide a word from me of all the words that he spoke to you. Not him threatening him. First of all, sir, that threat is nothing compared to what Yahweh was about to do to you and your household. And Shemuel reported to him all the words and hid none from him. And he said, It is Yahweh. Let him do what is good in his eyes. And Shemuel grew up, and Yahweh was with him, and did not let any of his words fall to the ground. And all of Israel from Dan to Beersheba knew that Shemuel had been established as a prophet of Yahweh. And Yahweh continued to appear in Shiloh, because Yahweh revealed himself to Shemuel in Shiloh by the word of Yahweh. And so my thing is, we have to understand how Yah speaks to us. And a lot of times, the way he speaks to us, because in our waking state, we're so busy. We're so busy with the things of this world, with, children, with our spouses, with work, with household things, with friends, and other things that we fill our time up with. And he is trying to speak to us, and people will say they don't hear him. That's why we busy ourselves with all these external things, and we don't have that time to spend with him and to just listen to him speaking to us. So he'll speak to us in our dreams. But the problem is, a lot of people don't understand that your dreams, they're just not some, thoughts of your subconscious mind. No, like he's trying to tell you something, and we need to listen. And I know for me that I haven't always listened, and now that I do listen, sometimes, well, actually most times, I am confused about the dreams that I have. But I do know that when I pray about them, he will reveal the answers to me. And also, when I read his word, he will reveal the answers to me. Another way that he speaks to me is through books. I am a reader. Hence, I'm a reader. So I read a lot of books, and a lot of times he will answer a lot of the questions that I have through whatever book I am reading. I've just now recently gotten into nonfiction, so that's how I have noticed that he's been speaking to me a lot, right? Because he knows that I'm a reader. He made me this way. He's like, look, you go read. That's why I read my Bible and I read books, because that's the best way that's the best way that I hear him speak to me. Outside of dreams and sometimes through other people, it's through a book. It's through his word. And it's through the words of other people that he has spoken through. So I hope this has helped. Try to figure out what is the way that Yah speaks to you.